So it's live now.
Okay. Okay.
Greetings,
Cool.
Dr. McDermott. So welcome. Uh,
Hi, Natasha.
so this topic is, it's all about mind, body, and how we can support ourselves during these times. We have a special guest, Dr. McDermott. To tell the people who you are and what you do.
Oh well, my name is sorry, Pam McDermott. I am a naturopathic doctor, and basically what I do, I help individuals with their health concerns. Basically work more of like a wellness consultant. Specifically for me, I work like more like a wellness consultant. I consult clients and help them with all kind of health, issues that they have, from digestive health to endocrinological type issues like diabetes, hormone dysfunction, women's health. That's pretty much my area. I also work with people with all kind of issues. And typically for us as a naturopathic doctor, we basically recommend like alternative recommendations. We don't, although some of us can recommend drugs like pharmaceuticals, but for me specifically, I only mostly just recommend like nutritional supports and just diet and lifestyle recommendations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so what inspired you to become a naturopathic doctor?
Well, actually, I always wanted to become a medical doctor
Mhm,
when I was young. But what
mhm.
happened is that my dad was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma about 2001, and they sent him home to die. The Western medicine gave up on him. They didn't know what else to do. So he came across a naturopathic doctor. I didn't know that existed. And this was in my quest to basically, I was in between, just graduated from college and basically decided my next step.
Mhm.
So I knew I did not want to be like go to medical school just to study drugs. I knew I did not want that. I wanted to really help people using like home remedies and things like that. And for me, who is originally from Jamaica, grew up on
Look,
home
look, look,
remedies.
look.
Grew up on home remedies. It's something that was in me that I'm like, I want to help people in a natural way. So
Right.
he came across this naturopathic doctor, and because of the help of this naturopathic doctor and other things that we've done, he lived an extra 11 years. I mean, now he's no longer
Wow.
alive. However, he lived an extra 11 years.
That's
So when I start to see how he was, improving by basically changing his diet, taking herbs, things like that, I said, okay, this is what I want to do. So I did my research and I said, oh, yes, this is what I want to do. And here I am today. So, and even when my dad passed away and they did like an autopsy, cancer was not found. Cancer was not the cause of his death. So,
mm,
that's a huge testimonial in itself, to what the power of, herbs and diet lifestyle changes and things like that.
no, that's a powerful testimony. Thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah.
didn't even know what a naturopathic doctor was until I even met you. When I was working at New Species, disclaimer, we supposed to do
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I didn't know what that was, and it was amazing to know that there's alternative ways to support our health. So for a lot of people don't know what a naturopathic doctor is. So you
Hmm.
mind break it down? What is a naturopathic doctor? What do you treat, and how do you treat things opposed to the westernized way of doing things? If that makes sense.
Right. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So we can just to put a disclaimer out there, New York State, New York City is not licensed, doesn't license us as naturopathic doctors. So
Ooh.
we cannot operate as a physician.
Mm.
However, we're certified as a doctor, so we can do like recommendations, but we can't diagnose or treat anything. So this is why we now have to more work as like a consultant, right?
Mm.
Um, but however, on the wider scope of things, naturopathic doctors, naturopathic physicians, they can diagnose and treat sorts of health ailments, from diabetes to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, depression, anxiety, dysbiosis, which basically, gut imbalance, allergies, you name it, rheumatoid arthritis, all sorts of things. We can help with that. What differentiates us between a medical doctor and a naturopathic doctor is that we tend to more stick to the alternative side of things. And also, we like to focus on the cause of
Mm,
a disease, right? We don't just, like to look at the symptom of something.
mm,
We like to look at the whole body, and we like to look at the cause of what's going on. Why is this happening,
mm,
right? Basis where a medical doctor, they'll just treat the symptoms. That's it. They won't look at the cause. They won't look at why this is happening. They'll just give you, okay, if you're having a headache, they'll prescribe you, Motrin or, something like that. I mean, they won't prescribe Motrin. They'll prescribe something much stronger than that, but they
mhm,
won't look into, okay, why you having a headache, because headaches can be due to so many other things, allergies, could be
mhm,
due to a
mhm,
tumor in your head. It's like so many different causes. And this is what we do. We look at other things. So now we do still work with medical doctors as well, because even for me in my own personal practice, I do depend on my clients to go to their primary care physician, get their blood work from them, and then I read that. So, and if I
mhm.
need any additional things that I want to look at, I send them back to their primary care to do those testings for me,
Mm,
right? So, in a sense that, medical doctors and naturopathic doctors can work integratively, but
mhm.
it doesn't need to be a separation because we can complement each other. But
Right.
unfortunately, the world we living in, it has basically grew apart where it's not together. But for me, that's my aim, is to complement what someone is doing.
No, thank you for sharing that. Um, I think what's coming up for me when you said that naturopathic doctor treat the cause, it sound like naturopathic doctors is more preventing and treating a whole person,
Mm-hmm.
not just the symptoms.
Exactly. And not only that, we also work with prevention too. So
Mm,
someone may come to me and say, I'm not sick, I don't have any issues, but I just want to prevent. How can I stay healthy? So we
mm,
do have those people. I mean, not many think that way, but you do have a few people, that will want to do prevention. So they're like, what kind of vitamins do I take? Or you may have someone that they may have a history, a family health history of diabetes or cancers or something, and they were like, you know what, I don't want that. So how can I work? What can I work towards so that I don't get those things, right?
right.
So people, we do also have, people coming to us, like, for that as well. So we do also work with prevention. That's actually um one of our statements as naturopathic doctors is basically prevention, you know.
Mm, thank you for that. So, what are some alternative treatments, I guess, that naturopathic doctor normally prescribes or recommend for?
It all depends on,
Mhm,
what's happening. So for example, okay, for like what's going on right now, I'm sure we're going to get into this a little later, but we're going to talk about the immune system.
mhm,
So if someone is having something like allergies, right? For allergies, we recommend something like quercetin, vitamin C, because quercetin is actually what they call an antioxidant that's present in certain herbs and also food that we eat, like onions, apples
mm,
has quercetin in it, right? So
mhm,
quercetin, what it does, it helps reduce the mast cells from releasing histamine. And mast cells is
mm,
basically part of our immune system that actually create that allergy reaction. So when you're having like allergy reaction or anaphylactic reaction, or you may just have sniffle nose, or you may have, when the pollen starts to bud and the trees start to shed what they shed, your body starts to recognize that, and then the mast cells goes off and releases histamine. So quercetin is a great antioxidant that is helpful for allergies. So those are things that we recommend. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna say, okay, here's nasal spray, or here's a Claritin. I mean,
mm,
even for a nasal spray, we can recommend a neti pot. A neti pot is basically like, a little pot where you just basically use some saline water, right? And which is salt, saline is salt,
mm,
and you put it in the water and you wash out your nose, each nostril, with it. So So that's basically to give an idea of like what we recommend, for something like allergies. If it's something like a headache, headaches could be due to different things. But if we find out it's just a normal headache for whatever reason, it could be due to tension, that we could recommend something like magnesium, right? Magnesium helps relax the muscles. Magnesium is present in our dark leafy green vegetables, but you also can get it as a supplement as well. So I'm hoping I'm painting a good picture here of,
No, no, no. Thank
like
you.
what we
I like how you're
recommend.
breaking it down. Like you're saying that is case by case. It's not like one size fit all type of thing.
Exactly. And
It's,
and we, and that's the key thing about naturopathic medicine that I love, is that we work on customized plans. We don't It's not
mm,
one size fit all type of thing, right?
mm,
Because two people could be standing next to each other, have the same symptoms but different causes, right?
mm.
So, it's definitely a customized thing.
No, thank you for that, Dr. Okay.
Mhm.
So from what I'm getting from you, you did mention about herbs. That's something that naturopathic doctors normally recommend as an alternative medicine. What
Mhm.
else do naturopathic doctor normally recommend as support for health?
Actually, we can recommend diet and lifestyle recommendations. So we can recommend something like, what, avoid this, avoid eating certain foods, eat more of
Mm,
this. We can also recommend things like, what, go get a massage. You're stressed, go get a massage. Go to the massage therapist and get a massage. That can be a recommendation for us. Um, we also can carry out some of these modalities like hydrotherapy, basically is using water for healing, some of us can do that in our offices. We do hydrotherapy, or we can actually give our client the instructions to go home and do it. Um, things like that. In some states, not in New York, but in some states, naturopathic doctors can also do what they call IV treatments. Basically they can do IV vitamin C, IV B vitamins, injections, things like that. So there's different, modalities that we call them, that, we can use, but it all depends on the jurisdiction of where we're located, what we're allowed to do in that state. Um,
mm.
things like that. Yeah. Because, like I said, in some states, naturopathic doctors can prescribe antibiotics, they can prescribe pain medication. So it all depends on the location, and, if
Jurisdiction.
that state allows us to do it, depend on the state.
No, thank you for that. It's good to know that information. So let's talk
Mhm.
about what's going on right now. Everybody knows what's going on right now. The big
Yeah.
thing that's out right now. They call it coronavirus, aka Rona.
Uh-huh. And I'm here.
So
I'm drinking some immune tea as we speak. So
yes,
I
yes.
just came from the outside. So I'm just like, warming my
Mm,
body up with some immune tea, which I.
you
Oh,
got disconnected.
we're still connected.
Yeah, you got disconnected.
Okay.
I don't know. There's someone in.
Oh, I sent the link to someone. So.
Yeah, he no, it's not. He's supposed to go on my YouTube. He can't do.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Okay.
he's
Okay. What?
disrupting it.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my YouTube is in my link on Instagram. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause that was like, what is there's a third person here. I
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not a link to the YouTube. That's the link to what you and I are doing. It's a
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's two different
So
platforms,
people can just go to your YouTube right now and see
and
it
it's
has her speaking.
yeah, it's live on my
Really?
YouTube.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
this platform allow us to be live on YouTube. Because YouTube, you can't just
Oh,
go live on YouTube with someone straight like that. You need a second platform to do it.
oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay.
So if you
I'm
want to
just.
participate in the questions and stuff, yeah, you have to do it on YouTube. Um,
Mhm.
so send him to my YouTube. Tell him to log out of that. My YouTube is Natasha Love.
Oh, okay, Natasha Love.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
it's okay.
I thought it was a public link. See,
No,
I'm
no,
see,
it's
I'm
not.
learning something new now too.
It's okay. I should have made it clear it's not a public link.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, he's
So
still.
whenever someone joins this link, it cuts us off.
Yeah, so tell him to come out. He's
Ah.
still in it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Raphael?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Alrighty.
it's
So,
okay. It's okay.
all
Um,
right. So
he's
yeah,
still
so we were
there.
talking about okay.
Immune health, and what's going on. Like what's going on right now with the Corona, aka Rona, and
Yeah.
I guess just your expertise on it. And again, um, I know you want to have a disclaimer about because you're providing your expertise, but still, yeah, you have to do a disclaimer.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, anything we're speaking about in terms of immune health, it's not to treat the coronavirus or prevent it or anything like that, because right now they're still doing research is still being done on, are you still there? Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
think you lag out. Okay.
Research is still being done on the what benefits to help with the coronavirus. So we're not, anything we discuss is not to treat it, it's not to prevent it. Basically, we're going to just talk about some immune supporting herbs and foods that we can eat more of to support our immune system.
Right.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
I guess so definitely talk about do your expertise on immune health and how we can support our immune system, and not just because of Corona in general, because even after this
right.
pandemic is over, we want to support our defense system.
Exactly. And also, one of the things I want to focus on is our gut health. Our gut health has to be
Mm,
healthy. 75% of our immune system is actually in our gut. And,
mm,
so we also have what they call lymphoid tissues in our gut that basically protects us from getting invaded by, infections and viruses and bacterias and things like that. So we do have good bacteria that helps our body, that produces their own protection to support us. But also you have the bad bacteria that creates an imbalance and creates the illnesses and things like that. So, having good gut health is important to basically strengthen our immune system as well. So that basically leads me to the food that we eat, right?
mm,
The food that we eat is important. Especially things like probiotics. Probiotics is good bacteria. It's multiple strain bacteria that basically helps strengthen your gut, your digestive system, and your immune system. And then you also have something called prebiotics. So prebiotic is food for the bacteria that's also in our foods, such as onions and leeks and artichokes, bananas, raw honey. All these things are prebiotic to help support our good bacteria in our gut. Um, but if we feel like we have like weakness in our gut and don't have enough good bacteria, it's always important that everyone gets on a multiple strain probiotic. um, if they don't know where to find one, they definitely can reach out to me. But we'll link all those information later. Because some people don't understand what probiotics is. Probiotics is actually good bacteria. It's good bacteria,
mm,
basically strengthening your gut. Also, if you have a history of being on antibiotics, you
mm,
know, antibiotics actually destroys your digestive system, because guess what? It don't only kills the bad guys, it also kills the good guys. So
mm.
anyone that has been on an antibiotic should be taking probiotics, right? Because
Wow.
your good bacteria don't just replenish on their own just like that, right? So definitely be taking probiotics and eating the foods as suggested, like the bananas and you know um the raw honey and the onions and the artichokes and these type of foods to help strengthen the good bacteria, be the food for the good bacteria.
Right. So is probiotic something that you have to take every day, or you can also supplement it with your eating lifestyle?
Both. So you
Both.
want to eat. So you want to eat the right foods, to support good gut health, and also it's good to be on a good probiotic as a supplement, right? Because sometimes, you know, some of us eat the SAD diet, the standard American diet, and we don't get enough vegetables and enough fiber in our diet to feed our good bacteria. So it's always good to, be on a good probiotic, to help support that in addition to your foods.
So fiber is one of the essential ingredients
Hmm.
for good gut health.
Exactly. Yep. Fiber.
Okay.
So like your almonds, almonds are good too. And also things like olive oil is good to consume, not heated olive oil, but like room temperature olive oil, because the good bacteria that's in our gut likes good fats as well, right?
Hmm.
And also, the foods that we eat, the healthy foods that we eat, and like the almonds and the olive oil, they contain good nutrients that the bacteria likes, right? So, it's important that we consume those things.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So far, what you're saying when it comes to autoimmune health, also gut health is a part of immune system health. What else should we know about immune health and how to support our immune system?
Well, so certain foods that I actually took some notes because I didn't want to be all over the place. So, um,
Understandable.
I actually made some notes. So, some foods for good gut health is I mentioned probiotics, sauerkraut, which is like fermented cabbage,
Hmm.
miso, things like that, kimchi. These are also good, prebiotic type of foods for the gut. And also raw cabbage, like if someone wants to just like steam cabbage by itself, cabbage actually contains what they call L-glutamine. And L-glutamine is actually a natural nutrient, amino acid to help heal the gut lining. So if someone already has like issues like, IBS or Crohn's or, or sort of colitis, ulcerative colitis, cabbage is a really good food, but also depends on how much they can tolerate because some people their gut is so sensitive now that sometimes it's really hard for them to eat those things. But if you can tolerate it, it's really good that they can consume cabbage. Or
Hmm.
they can do sauerkraut, which is fermented cabbage. Some other good foods is Brussels sprouts, right? The fiber in there is really great for the gut. And also, it contains sulfur compounds, which basically helps the good bacteria release, its nutrients to the body to help protect the immune system.
Hmm.
Okay. So it can help combat what they call something like H. pylori, which is a very bad bacteria. So eating a lot of things like the Brussels sprouts, the kale, the broccoli, all of these kind of foods have the sulfur compounds in them. And
Hmm.
also these also have anti-cancer compounds in them. So it really produces like a nice alkaline environment in the body. Because a lot of diseases survive in an acidic environment. So
Hmm.
it's really good for us to eat a lot of our dark leafy green vegetables, not just for our immune system, but for overall health, for our cells to have good food to feed on and to nourish our cells.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Another one is ginger.
Mm.
Ginger helps with the production of stomach acids, so it's good so you can digest your foods well. Also ginger is really good for like nausea or like you feel an upset stomach. It's always good to boil ginger. It's also good to put in like soups and things like that. Um, so Okay. Other foods supporting the immune system are things like organic berries because some of them do contain vitamin C, and they also contain a lot of nutrients to help support the immune system. Garlic is antibacterial. It's antiseptic, meaning like it basically helps take care of toxins in the body. It's antifungal. Garlic is also great for someone who may have high blood pressure. Garlic
Mm.
really good. It's a really good you know uh, herb to consume. It also balances yeast in the gut as well. Another thing that some may not think that's really helpful to strengthen the immune system is microgreens. I don't know if you ever heard of Like they're not like sprouts. It's not sprouts, like sprouted Brussels sprouts, or like sprouted alfalfa sprouts, or Brussels sprouts. I mean, broccoli sprouts. But microgreens are basically like these little bush, like little. They're like 1 to 3 inches of like vegetables. They're like the growth of the beginning growth of a seed when you plant it. Like say if you plant like a chia seed, or plant like a sunflower seed, or plant like a broccoli seed, the first 3 inches of its growth is considered a microgreen. And actually it
Mm,
has a lot of antioxidants in them and a lot of nutrients. So it's really good that, you can actually find these things in think places like Whole Foods, or like these, healthy, health conscious type of supermarkets. Or you can grow them. They're easy to grow like in house. So they need like a little bit of low lights, and you just have to really, care for them really well.
mhm,
And they grow in about 2 weeks, and then you can, harvest them, and you can just put them in your salads. Don't need to cook them. You just put them in your salads. So
mm,
microgreens are really great as well to help strengthen the immune system. They're
mhm,
high in nutrients. Um,
mm,
so things like mustard greens, you can do cauliflower greens, you can do cabbage, chia seeds, you get the seed and you plant it, or you can find some of these in like your Whole Foods, you know. So, the microgreens also contains proteins that can protect the body from invading pathogens, invading guys that we don't want in our bodies, right? So it's really important. Also prevent like things like bowel issues, bowel cancers, can prevent, all sorts of health issues. So, growing up as a kid, when our parents used to say, eat your vegetables, you know,
right.
it's a reason. It's not because, okay, they're colorful and they look good, but they're really feeding our bodies. They're strengthening our digestive system, they're strengthening our immune system, and they're also protecting our cells from degrading and doing what it basically prevent ourselves from basically doing the opposite of what it should do. Because I highly believe, and I'm also saying this, so research have actually shown this, that the food that we eat can
Mhm.
actually change our genetic response. So
Mm,
if like we're eating something, and we're say for instance, we're eating greens, like if someone has a disease and they're eating greens for 7 days straight, no sugar, no canned foods, no this, no that, you'll see the turnaround within the 7 days really quickly if they're really, aggressive about it. So food can be our medicine, or food can be our poison. So it's really
say it
important.
again. Say it again for us. Food can what?
Food can be our medicine, or food can be our poison. So it's really important too, as we are strengthening our immune systems, that we're not eating junk foods, we're not eating the fries and unless you're making your own sweet potato fries at home, you're putting them in, you're baking them or making them your own in avocado oil or something like that. But you're not going to be eating the fast foods and the pizza and the fries and the pastries and the donuts and all these things, because they actually suppresses the immune system, right? So even things
Mm,
like sugary foods and Pop Tarts and donuts and all these things and fried foods and cheesy foods and all these things help support they actually suppresses the immune system. Now, if you're
mm,
a person that's susceptible to having always like having to clear your throat, or you may have allergies, or you even already have the cold as it is, or you want to protect your immune system, you want to avoid things like cheese,
mm,
dairy, sugars, breads, because all these things create more mucus. They're mucus forming foods. Okay. So these are things that we bless you. These are things that we need to, to avoid if we want to strengthen our immune systems. We need to incorporate more of our dark leafy green vegetables, more of our fruits like berries, and also incorporating citrus fruits like oranges and lemons and apples. Apples are actually in the citrus family, believe it or not. Lime, incorporating these things into our daily eating, because they're high in nutrients, they're high in vitamin C, such like grapefruit and oranges and lemons and limes, and also in the skin. The skin of these fruits also have their own benefits as well. So that's why it's important for us to, most of our fruits is good to eat the whole thing, right? Or use it the whole thing somehow, whether it's in baking or you boil it, or today for me, I have some tea that I'm drinking here, and it has like whole lemons in there. It has ginger, it has thyme, right?
Mm.
It has garlic, it has onions in there, and you boil it all together as a tea, and this is very strengthens the immune system, right? Because they all contribute their own nutrient to it. Also avoiding caffeine.
Mm.
Actually suppresses the immune system. So coffee, coffee lovers out there, you want to kind of cut back on that because it actually does suppress the immune system, right? Um, what else? So now I'm gonna go into some other things that we can use to help strengthen the immune system. We call them herbs. I'm sure a lot of us have heard of elderberry.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm using right now
Elderberry is very high in vitamin C, and it's
too.
actually really strong, has a very strong antibacterial, right? And it's really good for nasal congestion. So elderberry is really good. So if you even feel like you're coming down with something, or even now that we're living in such a what we're having this pandemic that's going on right now, where everyone's immune system is basically like weakened, or is threatened, you can add elderberry. Start taking
Mhm.
elderberry. Um, so elderberry helps fight inflammation as well, right? So it's also an anti-inflammatory. Another one is ginger. There goes ginger again. So ginger helps break down toxins in the body due to its warming effect, and it cleanses the lymphatics. So our lymphatic system is also part of our immune system. I like to
Mhm.
think of it, our lymphatic system has like the recycling truck, right? It's
Mhm.
meant to basically recycle out the toxins out of our body. We have our lymphatic system that's all over our body, right? So it's
Mhm.
supposed to basically recycle toxins out of our body. And so, but if we're not putting the right things in, then it won't be able to do its job by pushing the bad things out, right?
Mhm.
So ginger is really good. And also ginger also helps break up mucus as well. Turmeric. Turmeric is one of my favorite herbs, like favorite. It's so powerful in so many different things. But I'm just gonna
Mhm.
focus on the immune aspect of it. Turmeric is actually a natural antibiotic. Can be a natural.
Mhm.
So if someone do like say a teaspoon or two of turmeric powder into like maybe like a tablespoon of honey, you have your natural antibiotic right there, right? So, turmeric is very anti-inflammatory. It's also good for pain, right? Turmeric is really good
Mhm.
for pain for someone. So someone who may have rheumatoid arthritis, or they're having pain in their joints, or they're having some sort of any kind of pain, turmeric is a really good addition to take, to help reduce that, to support that. Um, Turmeric is also antiviral, right? Studies show that it has some antiviral effects, antioxidant effects, antifungal effects.
Mhm.
And that, so I love turmeric. It changes the color of everything that it's added to, but it's great. You're right. Turmeric is basically it's in a ginger family. So
Mhm.
when you see the raw turmeric, it looks like ginger, but it's more on the orange side.
Mhm.
And basically it's what's in curry powder. That
Right.
turns our foods yellow.
Yes, yes, it does look like curry.
It turns our hands yellow. So like if for those who like to eat a lot of Indian food, or you're West Indian like us, or Jamaican, we use curry in our foods, and it actually contains turmeric, and turmeric is
Oh,
really
okay.
and turmeric is really good for anti-inflammatory. But it's better you do just straight turmeric, because some curry seasonings have other things added to it, like the Indian have their own spices put together. So if you want to do turmeric, you want to cook with it, is either get your fresh turmeric, or you can get a turmeric powder, and you can also get turmeric supplements that you can add as well.
Oh.
Um, Another one is astragalus.
Mm.
Astragalus is really good. Some people don't really know about this, but astragalus is really good to support the immune system. It also has some antiviral activity to it as well. It's antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. It really strengthens the immune system, and it regulates how the immune system respond to something.
Mm. Is that in any particular form, tea form, pill form, or
You can do. I particularly, I'm a lover of extracts because it's stronger.
extracts? Mm.
But you can get them in capsule form, extracts. I haven't seen them in teas though. Even though I'm a huge fan of tea as well, I haven't seen astragalus tea. But you could. It doesn't hurt to look and see. But extracts and capsules are usually more in a stronger form than tea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another one is golden seal.
Mm.
Golden seal is really good. It's it's antibacterial. It's really high in a lot of nutrients that basically help get rid of bacteria, viruses. It has a compound in there called berberine, which a lot of studies has been done on that to have so many different benefits to the body, not just the immune system, but it changes the game for everything when it comes to health. Like it does a lot. It's high in antioxidants, it's anti-inflammatory, and it supports the immune system as well. Um, Studies have shown that golden seal, that of course I had to make sure mention this because this is not something I just discover on my own. This research has been a lot of these things that we're talking about. Research has been done on them, right?
Right.
And the golden seal studies have shown it to basically be used for pneumonia, right?
Mm.
It's been used for a whooping cough, and it's also been used for tuberculosis. So
Mm.
so golden seal is a very strong herb to support our immune system. And also, if you already have the cold or you already have the flu, you can take golden seal to support your immune system, right? Um, so, detoxing is really important. Keeping the body, clean is really important for us to strengthen our immune system. So you don't want to just be putting anything in it. So cleansing is important so that it takes the weight off the immune system, and this immune system can work to its full potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you don't want to neglect. I'm a huge person of use what you already have, and sometimes we have so many things around us we don't realize that it's beneficial. So even if
Mm-hmm.
you want to look around your kitchen, see what you have in your kitchen. If you have your ginger, you have your onions, you have your garlic, you put those together. Thyme is another good one. I didn't have that on my, actually I have my list. Thyme is really good for the immune system as well. Thyme can support the respiratory or lungs.
Mm.
Thyme also has like an antibacterial effect to it, is an antiseptic effect to it. So thyme is really good. So all of us who, or should I say some of us who cook with thyme, sometimes we don't really know the benefits behind it, but there's so many benefits. Continue using it in your soups, and you can actually boil it into a tea as well. And they also have thyme they provide into like an extract too, or essential oil. um, so even like a time like now, don't get rid of your orange peels or your lemon peels. Use them, wash it really well, especially if they're organic. Wash them really, really well, and boil them into a tea and make a tea because there's so many benefits in the skin as well, right? And also the white. I want to go back to quercetin for a second. The white part that's behind the skin, like of a grapefruit or orange or a lemon,
Mm-hmm.
it contain quercetin, and that part also is really beneficial for the immune system, as I said before, and also someone who may be having other health concerns like, cancers, or they have, I don't want to say it doesn't treat cancer. I'm not saying that. But if someone who may have their system that's compromised, their cells are compromised, it's really good to support that. So, sometimes, you're peeling something. Don't get rid of that white. Blend it, make it into a juice, right? Put ginger in there and add it to your juices. Lemongrass. I love lemongrass. Jamaicans also know it has fever grass. Um, it's good for fevers. It helps supports. It also is antiseptic, so which means it's also like antibacterial. It helps support the immune system. So if someone has a fever, lemongrass has been shown to help break that. So
Mm-hmm.
lemongrass is really great as well. Lemongrass, you can find it in a tea form. You can find it in essential oil form. Um,
Mm-hmm. I love the essential health form. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So lemongrass is amazing. Also, to support the immune system, it's important to stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, stay away from the sugary drinks because again, sugar also create more mucus and suppresses the immune system. So drink a lot of water, drink a lot of teas, um, and also turn these things into soups. Make immune boosting soups. Add your onions and your garlic to your soups, and a lot of vegetables and a lot of turmeric, and make your soups. So it's really important for us to do that to stay hydrated. So even now, right now, they're telling us to wash our hands and don't touch our faces, and all these things, but we also have to know what are we putting inside of our bodies, to keep
Right, right.
as well. So that's important.
No, it's very important. That was a lot. Like, thank you for all of that wonderful information. I guess one thing you touched on that I really want to, I guess, help people to understand. You mentioned that when the body is acidic, the most disease are in when the body is acidic. Can you describe that? What is acidic and what's alkaline, and where your body needs to be in a, I would say, in a disease-free state, if that even makes sense?
Yes, so I makes sense. So thank you for asking that question. So acidic, basically we have a pH, something called pH, right? A pH
Mm-hmm.
balance. And to be balanced, we need to be. They actually have pH strips that you can test your own pH. Um, Acidic is anything below a 7, and anything that's alkaline or basic, it's a little bit between like 7 and 8, because you don't want to be too alkaline either. Um,
Say that again, because everybody like, oh, alkaline diet.
Oh yeah, alkaline. You don't want to be too alkaline either. There needs
Right.
to be a balance. So you can always check your pH by getting pH strips from like Vitamin Shop or some of these health food stores. Um, and acidic is basically when the body has broken down so much that I'm trying to think of an analogy to, because I'm a person, I'm a visual learner. So, when something's in acidic state, right, it cannot thrive in that state,
Mm.
right? So basically a healthy cells can't thrive in an acidic state. So diseases are usually they end up developing in an acidic state, right? Versus in an alkaline state. So when you think about eating a lot of acidic foods like red meats and fried foods and a lot of junk sugars and all this other stuff, it puts our bodies into this acidic state. Whereas if we're eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits and whole grains and, having a well balanced diet, it keeps our body in an alkaline level where disease cannot thrive there, right? So
Mm.
basically, what happens is that when your body's in an acidic state, there's not enough oxygen circulating in your cells to help fight off what's going on.
Mm.
And based on the alkaline state of your body, there's enough oxygen in there because oxygen is very healing to our body. I mean, we need it to breathe, right? We breathe in oxygen, and then our body turns into CO2. We exhale CO2, right? Carbon dioxide. So,
Mhm.
oxygen is really important for us, for our bodies. Believe it or not, we take it for granted because we're just breathing and living and walking around. But oxygen actually, they feed our cells as well. Our cells need oxygen to operate in the most effective way. I
Mm.
hope I explained that to,
No, no, that's powerful. That's powerful. Our bodies are is a our body's amazing. I think.
it's a machine. Our bodies are a machine, and but the thing is, if we don't give it what it needs, it won't do what it needs to do, right?
Right.
So basically, it's like you think of a car. If a car's supposed to get 93 gas, but you're putting in 87, what's going to happen eventually? Or if
Mhm.
you have a car that just works on diesel, but you're putting in 87, eventually that car is going to fall apart on you because you're not giving it the right kind of oil that it needs to function
Mhm.
to its full capacity, right? So we should think about our bodies like that. I mean, we're much more valuable than a car, but we should think of it like that, where if we're putting the right foods in our bodies, then our body's gonna give us back what it's supposed to do and give and function to its full effectivity. Versus if we're just always eating junk, 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 junk. And I'm not saying listen, we're not gonna get it perfect. We're not. Because
Right.
I don't even get it perfect all the time.
Right.
However,
I don't get it all the time either.
right, we don't, and none of us don't. You know what I'm saying? None of us don't. But if we actually do our best to at least 85 to 95% of the time that we're eating clean and we're trying to, eat our vegetables and our fruits, at least we'll be able to prevent disease, because a good way to look at it too, because I'm a type of person that before I got into this field, I used to hate broccoli. Oh my God, I used to hate it. Once I started learning about the benefits of what it can do to my body,
Mhm.
because it starts here. It's mind over matter. Once you know what
Right.
it can do to your body, forget about the taste. After a while, you just start acquiring the taste and you start loving that thing. And then guess what? You change your taste buds so much, and you can change your taste buds to to the point that when you taste something that even just have a little bit of sugar in it, or when it tastes fake, you're like, oh my God, I can't stand this. Like for me, if I try to
Mm,
eat something that's artificial, I can't enjoy it. It just don't taste the same. It just don't, you know what I mean? Because my taste buds has gotten used to eating fresh whole foods, greens, all this stuff. So even when something has a little bit too much sugar in there, I can't eat it because I'm like, this is too sweet. So we can change our taste buds as well. Somebody would think, oh, I can't, I hate this, I hate that. But if we developed and try to acquire it and we think about the benefits of what it's doing to our body, because we don't want to wait till we get sick. We want to prevent, right, getting sick. Right.
right,
And if we're already in a stage of imbalance, we can also bring it back to balance as well.
right,
It has to
right.
take
It's all
it-
about the balance, the balance.
exactly. So just taking steps.
So thank you for sharing that. So I guess what do people need to balance? I know you mentioned diet. You did mention some herbs. Do we need minerals? Do we need vitamins? What is it the essential that a human being needs to balance and to keep their body in that alkaline state, you would say?
It is really important for us to take a multivitamin and a multimineral,
Mm-hmm.
because the earth that we have today is depleted of its nutrients,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't get all of our vitamins and minerals through our food. So it is important that we do take a multivitamin or multimineral. Um, so it's important that we do that. So someone who wants to do a multivitamin, they want to make sure they have all their A's and B's and C's and E's, and have their CoQ10 in there and have their magnesium and their phosphorus, which is your minerals. You want to have it has the full component of like your vitamins and your minerals in there. So it is important for everyone to be taking a multivitamin, because we don't get all of our nutrients from our food.
Okay. Okay.
And also another a good thing to stay to essential for good health is omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids. It's really good for inflammation. It's good for brain health. It keeps our circulatory system healthy and flowing nicely. Because it's good fats versus if you're eating too much of like bad fats that you get from like fried foods and your fried chicken, and you get from all these things, like, or some of the oils that we use are important. If you have too much bad fats, this can clog your arteries, and this is how some people develop high cholesterol and plaques in their arteries, and they have a heart attack and all this other stuff. So, even someone with diabetes, you always see a triad of diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Mm.
With diabetes, there's inflammation in the circulatory system, and then plaques start to develop in the arteries. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because the plaques start developing in the arteries, the heart has to work harder to pump the blood through those arteries. Then, guess what? You have high blood pressure. So it just becomes this whole triad, right? So, back to your original question is one of the things that we need essentially just to kind of maintain good health is a multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acids, which are good fats, and also probiotic. Those are the three that I would say everyone should be taking.
Every day.
And then if they need any additional support, then it's individual based. If they're experiencing some kind of health, they may need extra of other things that they, to kind of support them along the way.
Thank you. Um, so we talk about nourishment and what the body needs. Can you just speak a little bit on cleansing and how often should we cleanse and what should we be cleansing with? Because I know a lot of people are cleansing with, these, some things that also destroy the stomach line. Um,
So, okay, so there's two parts to this question. So it's good to do a heavy detox in terms of like doing like a detox where you're taking some supplements to help detox your body, basically just kind of enhance that to start fresh, to restart yourself.
mhm.
Where they have, these detox shakes, or, which I'm not opposed to at all, like they're helpful, but you have to be careful just which ones you take. You can do that, supplementary detox. Then you can detox through your foods. So foods like your dark leafy green vegetables and like your bitter greens, like your mustard greens, and these bitter greens, are very helpful for detoxifying the body, right?
Mhm.
Even things like parsley and cilantro, they're really great detoxifiers because they also help
Mm.
pull heavy metals out of our body, right? So, it's really good to, I'm a huge, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a huge believer has using food to basically support our bodies. I mean, I'm
Right.
all for also supplementation and vitamins and all that stuff, but it's also good for us to implement our food as well. You don't want to be just taking pills all day and you're not eating the right foods, because then
Right.
you're defeating the whole purpose of what you're trying to do.
Right.
So you can start with, so someone who may be heavily toxic, or they may think they're toxic, or they never cleanse, or they don't eat healthy, or they just started eating healthy. It's good that they start with a detox system, and that could include supplements and also doing like a colon cleanse as well, right? That's not just
Mm.
supplemental, but they can do like colon hydrotherapy that they can do, which I don't advise to do all the time, but it's good to do it maybe like once or twice a year, just to help support that. And also, doing that, drinking a lot of water. Water is detoxifying, so it's important that we drink a lot of water. With water, we need to be drinking at least half our body weight in ounces to basically know that we have the right amount. So
Mhm.
basically, if you weigh 150 pounds, then you're supposed to be drinking at least 75 ounces of water, right?
Mhm.
Um, so detoxification is important, because of course you're not going to be taking a detox supplement for the rest of your life. So that's why it's important that we eat the right foods to help our bodies do that, right? Because our organs, our liver, our kidneys, our skin, right? Those three main organs there, our skin is an organ, our kidneys and our liver, they help detoxify. I mean, there's other organs too, but these are the three main that help detoxify toxicity out of our bodies. So it's
Mhm.
important that we support those organs by putting the right things in there. So a lot of good liver cleanses, liver herbs, or things like milk thistle, dandelion roots. Food wise, mustard greens are really good to help support liver cleansing. Dandelion leaf tea is really good for the kidneys, to cleanse the kidneys. Things like corn silk help support the kidneys, right? So there's so many different ways we can support our body to detoxify, because our body is supposed to, they're naturally, that's how God made us. Our body naturally cleanses itself, right?
Right.
However, if we're eating the right things and putting the right things in our body, it enhances that process. But if we are putting the wrong things in it, right, it slows down or hinders that process, right?
Right.
So some people they may have congested liver, like fatty liver disease. They may have, start having kidney stones. The kidney's not working right, especially for someone with diabetes. May start having affected kidney function.
Right.
Because they're not taking care of their blood sugar control and all that. So, but yeah, so I think that, I hope I answered your question.
No, you did. And so, how often should people be cleansing a year? Like once
Oh,
or twice?
I didn't answer that one. I usually recommend detoxing at the start of every season. So, like, if you
Mm.
do a spring detox, then you can do a summer detox, or towards the end of the summer, right? And then you can do one for the winter. So I usually like to say do one at least for each season,
Right.
or at least maybe two. We have 4 seasons, so at least 2 seasons out of the year. So you can do like a summer cleanse, and you could do a winter cleanse.
Mm. That's powerful. Like there's so much knowledge, so much information. Thank you for that. I guess tell people about your business, where to find you, and if you have any upcoming events coming up.
So the name of my business is called True Vine Wellness, and basically, it's you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram page is True Vine Wellness. I also have a Facebook page called True Vine Wellness, and my website is truevinewellness.com. And also that's where you could find me. So if you have any questions, you can just send me an email or chat me on Instagram or Facebook. Um, and I do not have any events coming up right now, because with this whole
Corona.
thing that's going on, I haven't been planning anything. However, I do plan on doing a Facebook Live very soon, maybe over the weekend or sometime next week. So if you like my page on Facebook, or you follow me on Instagram, I definitely will be posting my updates on there, where I'll be, what I'll be doing. And please follow my page, because I do post a lot of educational things on there. Even things that I do here at home, to support myself, my family, I post it on there as well. Because then I'm always a huge believer of helping other people, and educating. Knowledge is power.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
and one of the principles that we go by as naturopathic doctors is basically healing yourself, heal yourself.
Mm.
have the education, you know what to do. You can heal yourself. So,
Right.
so that's it. So True by Wellness, and you can look for me on Instagram or Facebook. And that's it.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. K. I guess I just want to leave with, like you said, like some little snippets. Like food can be your poison or it can be your medicine. And
Mm,
another snippet's like your body has the power to heal itself. Like no one is your healer. You have to put the right things in your body so your body can do what it's naturally supposed to do. But again, heal itself with the right thing. So I
right.
appreciate you and much love and light.
Oh, thanks, Natasha. Thanks for having me. Well, I very appreciate it. I'm willing to come back on board and talk about some other stuff too.
Yes, yes. We can talk about, some mental health stuff and natural ways.
Yeah, definitely,
Mental health
definitely.
month is coming up in May. So that could be something that we can do
Yeah,
virtually around mental health and natural ways to support our mental health. It's
for
always a
sure.
pleasure.
For
Always
sure.
a
And also
pleasure.
one more thing, vitamin D is important. You said
Mm,
mental health, so I thought about vitamin D. So immune health is also supported by vitamin D. Vitamin D is really important. So some people that who get sick, they've
mhm,
tested where their vitamin D levels are low. So taking vitamin
mm.
D is really important as well to support your immune system. So
Vitamin
make
D
sure
or
it's
whatever.
vitamin D3. Pardon?
Vitamin D3.
Yep, make sure it's vitamin D3.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you. And especially like when I get in the sun too. So vitamin D3 is
Exactly.
very powerful when it
And
comes
also
about.
too, and also the summertime, as African Americans, we must not take it for granted because of the melanin actually can slow down the absorption of vitamin D from the sun. So sometimes us as African American can also be vitamin D deficient. So,
Right.
so let's not take for granted, okay, the sun is shining, but no, we don't need to take vitamin D. We should definitely always, be on at least our basic, amount of vitamin D.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. K. Dr. McDermott, thank you so much. Anything else you want to say to the people before we end
No,
this?
that's it. That's it.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, bye. Thanks for having me. All right,
Bye.
bye.